Okay, so
child
pornography. Shouldn't
It's a
the
horrible-
government help to try to? Isn't the government supposed to protect?
It is a law. It is a law. If they know you're watching that, you're going to jail, or you're gonna something bad's gonna happen. You're gonna get some sort of,
and that's a good thing.
And that is a good thing. Now, if you're somebody that's been, and I'll be honest with you,
No, that's cool.
I don't
take much. I'm natural.
I don't give a crap if somebody's screwing a horse. Okay, if you. Whatever your perversion is, as long as you're not hurting kids or people, well, people, unless you are.
What about the horse, dude?
Or what about
my mom loves horses?
It's big enough to protect itself.
But, oh dear Lord! Oh God, this is so bad.
Anyway, you're the one that wanted to record it.
But no, I'm just saying the horse.
No, wait. Well, can I make my freaking point?
Yeah, please. Sorry.
If you are somebody that's been known to do something to another person, a child or an adult, whatever, against the adult's will, or to a child, because a child has no right to make their own decisions as far as that stuff is concerned.
So rape or pedophilia?
Anything like, yes. That person should be monitored and checked. As far as the regular population goes, if you haven't done anything, if you're not known to do anything, leave the people alone. Yeah. I don't care what you do at your house. I don't care what you fantasize about.
I guess I was talking about regulating what's on the internet regards to child pornography.
Well, okay. That is already regulated.
Yeah, that's a good thing, yeah.
Okay.
It already is.
Yeah, and it should be.
But I do agree with that, and I'll tell you why. Because kids, like I said before, they're not, until you're 18, the law of the land says you're not your own person. You are the property of some. You are property. You are the property of
someone else is responsible for you, accountable for your actions.
And if they're allowing that, then that's on them. The parents or their protector, whoever that is, or
if they're allowing,
then they go to jail and that kid goes somewhere else, where they'll be properly.
Well, because I think of the. I'm sorry. I don't know if I should apologize.
The government,
but I'm thinking about the guy, the subway guy, Jared.
Right.
You know, he recently got in trouble and he got it was like 6 years or something.
That's a joke.
He's actually gained some weight, it looks like, but so have I, by the way. But this black shirt helps a lot. But no, by the way, this is the Dave and Joe Liberty Stand. You just caught us in the middle of a conversation.
It really isn't, because this is just, it's not a real show.
Well,
we were talking about stuff in between shows, and they were like,
and Levi's
record this, record this, record this.
I agree with it, because it's some of the best stuff you have. And we've acknowledged that too.
All the best stuff happens when we're not.
Matt, what do you think about this regulation of pornography on the internet?
I think, obviously, if a child somewhere is being assaulted, we should make every effort to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Right.
You know.
All right. What am I going? I'm going to ask both of you this. Earlier tonight, and you can go on after this, but this is important because it's my anthem here.
He is the.
Where does your rights end? Where does your rights end? Where does my rights end? Where does somebody's rights end?
I don't have any rights other than it's given to me by God.
Shut up and answer me in a constitutional way that we talked about earlier and we have for months.
Okay, Levi.
Well, I think if
your rights end where somebody else's begin. So if you are violating,
wanted to answer that.
You were going a long way around the barn, and we have a time limit here. Your rights always end where somebody else's begin. If you're hurting somebody else, you can't go on there. You're done.
Right.
And because you're coming from a constitutional perspective.
It comes from God.
Where I try to infuse the biblical worldview.
Constitution comes from God.
Well, if we're talking about regulation of what websites and stuff on the internet, it comes down to who's doing the regulating and what are their reasons for doing so.
Okay.
If they are actually looking for sick, terrible individuals who are doing, and that's the actual purpose of doing this, scanning, that's a great thing, But if you're extending your boundaries into just who's visiting, websites that endorse something that the government doesn't agree with or we consider a threat to national security,
right?
Then you shouldn't target those people. But
well,
if it's just for
for
the right things, it comes down to the
intention. Protect children.
Yeah,
but then like you're saying though, when we talk about protecting like the citizens of the United States with terrorism, because there was a thing out in California where this judge signed off that there were like 44,000 people's like emails and voice calls that were recorded, and that government intrusion and stuff. And I know it'd flame you up
if you don't go to a judge and get a warrant to monitor this person, be it by their phone records or by their computer exchanges or whatever it is. That's wrong.
And you
have to go by the Fourth Amendment and get a warrant by a judge.
But in their name of protecting Homeland Security,
I don't care.
Then they can justify it though.
No.
But we got way off from this child.
Well, that's where it gets tricky.
Thing, but,
it's not tricky. Okay, Levi.
Okay,
I'm just saying, is that always their intentions to uphold that document?
It's not anymore.
That's why we are so screwed up. That is why we are in the shape we are.
Can't argue with that. I'm just saying.
I want you to read this out loud to our audience right here.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I'd be honored. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, can I see that? What's that mean, Dave?
It means get a freaking warrant if you want to come in and spy on somebody. You have to prove that they're worth spying on. You can't just slap happily spy on somebody because you don't like the looks of them or because whatever. You have to.
But they can really twist that too. They can say, "Well, this is why this person. This is why we need to take a look at this person." And they can present all sorts
That's
of
why we have elections for judges in case they make wrong decisions, and we think that's bad.
And judges are going to get it right too every time.
What did I just say?
Well,
elections for judges.
There you go. And they have them. In case you didn't know, when you go vote, they actually have judges.
Oh,
too,
you're right. You're right.
There's people like me who don't think.
Wow.
Okay, hold on a second. Go ahead. What? People like you that what? This is the microphone.
I think you
don't think voting?
I don't know. The whole political spectrum I've kind of gotten away from because, one, I will say I don't think there is, and this is a quote, I'm quoting Steve Quayle here, one of my favorite authors and speakers.
And we can post this stuff up there for you guys too.
Steve Quayle says there is no political solution to a spiritual problem. I think that's where we're at right now in America. I think we need to get past. Just get this guy in office, and then everything will get better. No. Just get this guy. How has that worked out for us?
Okay, I want to elaborate on what he just said because that's great.
And I wonder if
great.
I wonder if voting does anything at all.
It still matters. It's very important.
Well, but you
to
see
get
that
the right guy in
too.
But here's, it's the people. We have to. That's why we're doing the show.
Stand up.
That's why we're doing the show, and we're trying to get more people
aware of what we can do.
And then we get the right people into power
to
make the change. But it's important not to just go screw politics altogether. It does matter because they are making laws that
it's God ordained.
He is right though. You're not going to legislate, but what you need is you need to get the government out of your life. So that we can all take care of each other. We need to make the population. We need to make the citizens ourselves better people, and better neighbors, and better and all help each other. But you still
and that
need
goes back to leading them to Christ.
But you still have to. But you still have to be involved in politics and know, okay, this is the best guy, or maybe somebody maybe somebody in your church, maybe somebody in your group or whatever. It's like, man, you need to run for this local office. You need get somebody that's on your side in there, or somebody that. And I'm telling you, this is probably a secret. I bet not a lot of people know this, but I'm a big Ted Cruz guy for president.
We've heard him mention that a few times.
I
on the
donate
show.
money to Ted Cruz, and I wish I had more to donate to him because I would, and I'm going to as I get it. It is important to find.
Send your money to
TedCruz.com. Or is it .org or .com? Try both of them.
Make sure because I heard .com WhiteHouse.com was a porn site.
Anyway,
endorse that.
But no, Levi's exactly right though. It really does come to us as individual people.
Well, and I think the viewpoint that like Levi has, and I'm sure. Well, we did that Man on the Street interview and talked to some young ladies.
They were super fantastic, weren't
they?
They
but
great.
they didn't realize.
But they wanted to learn.
Feel like
they wanted
being
to
involved
know.
was important.
I think if I can speak one moment on that, I think. Okay, I acknowledge that there are a lot of people like me that personally think, I believe in states' rights, and I'm not speaking to like smaller elections and stuff, but I think on the like presidential scale, I think that you might as well.
That's okay.
Keep going.
I just want to say I think, as far as like voting for president, you might as well vote with the little lever on your toilet. I think
Oh man!
I wonder if our votes really get anywhere. You know what I mean? You might as well. I tend to think that
look how cynical our young generation is.
But then again, I think, what if that's where we lose? What if by thinking that that's what they want us to think?
You're basically giving up hope.
They want us to think that you have no voice. That maybe they want. So I'm sounding just like a.
You're sounding pretty smart, actually.
I don't know what to believe. On the one hand, I feel like presidentially they've got their guy.
Right.
RD, he's only going to get there if they approve of him. I say they. I mean the people that have more power. Yeah, I think a president of America is usually a puppet.
Yeah,
he's usually getting orders from somewhere above him.
I agree.
One
guy's
George
not
Soros.
enough.
I will say this: I think there's the last president, and I'm quoting somebody here, but I think it was Michael Lake on the Hagman and Hagman report. But he pointed out that the last president to really stand up to the powers above him was JFK. And I think about a week before he was assassinated, he said something along the lines of, America needs to know what's really going on. And he paid dearly for that.
Wow.
And that didn't happen.
A lot of conspiracy sites, aren't you?
Well, that's the get. That you're looking
the
at.
source that you glean from.
I tend to think
we all have our sources.
We do.
We do.
And you look at Marilyn Monroe as well. She died,
Yeah, kind of.
I kind of tend to think that
Bobby Kennedy.
They were a threat. Yeah, all the Kennedys, and so you can do your own research on that. Take it to the Lord in prayer, but
we finally got this guy out of his shell, and we're going to continue this on the next. He's just going to we're just going to sit back and listen to this guy on the next show.
All right, well, guys, we'll be back.
Let's wrap this up.
Yep, we're wrapping this up. Thanks so much.
We'll see you in just a few.
See you back. Yep. Bye bye.